Hey guys, this is God of Politics. Welcome back to a brand new video, but before you get started with this video, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also follow me on Twitter and join the Discord. Those will both be linked down in the description. But in today's video, I do want to talk about something that happened yesterday, and that is that the Arizona Republican Party has censured Cindy McCain and the Governor Doug Ducey, as well as former Senator Jeff Flake. Now, this is very, very important, and I'll talk about some other developments that have come out because of it as well. But this is very, very crazy to see, to be honest, because they are censuring three members of their own party. Yes, they are members, moderate members of the party. You know, John McCain was quite a moderate member, and his widow, Cindy McCain, did endorse Joe Biden. So did Jeff Flake. Doug Ducey was a Republican, but he, certified the results for Joe Biden, and apparently that was a bad thing in the eyes of the Republicans. So they also did censure him, but they censured all three of them, and it's, of course, more a symbolic move, but it does say that they show the party's foot soldiers are focused on enforcing loyalty to Trump, even in the wake of an election that saw Arizona inch away from its staunchly Republican roots. So it says, party activists also re-elected controversial chairwoman Kelly Ward, who has been one of Trump's most unflinching supporters and among the most prolific promoters of his baseless allegations of election fraud. So that's another thing that's also happened. Arizona is more of a moderate state, and while there is a big wing of the party that is controlled by the Trump base, actually probably the majority of the party, there is a lot of people that are still moderate, and the Republicans need those voters to win because, if we look at the 2020 election results, that is the voters they lost in Maricopa County, white suburban voters who were generally more moderate. These outside areas where Republicans get votes don't really make much of a difference because it's offset mainly by Tucson because, you look at Mojave County, you look at Yavapai County, you look at Pinal County, you look at Yuma County, La Paz County, that's basically all offset by, the 100,000 vote lead Democrats have in Pima County. They get a pretty substantial, 10,000 vote lead there. They get a almost 20,000 vote lead in Coconino County. So they basically all offsets each other. And, the Republicans do offset it a little bit more, but, basically it all comes down to Maricopa County. And that's a county that Joe Biden flipped in this election. It shifted 5 points to the Democrats in this election. It would have been more if Joe Biden had not struggled so much with Latino voters, but it still did trend 5 points to him. And that's in part because of more moderate figures of the party. And the GOP in the state of Arizona is kind of alienating them. You saw this a lot in Virginia, about 10 years ago. They kind of went off the rails there. And you're seeing it also today in the Georgia GOP. These parties of the Republicans that are shifting further to the right and alienating a lot of the voters that they do need to win because, states like Georgia, states like Arizona used to be quite Republican states. Georgia went to George Bush by double digits in 2004. And while, it's not been too safe of a state Arizona has, but it's still been a more Republican state. It was the first time that any Democrat had won it since 1996 in the case of Joe Biden. So now they are moving further to the right. So it does say, the quote, "This is a time for choosing Republicans. Are we going to be a conservative party, or is this a party that's loyal to a single person?" That's a former state house speaker and chief of staff to Doug Ducey. So, Doug Ducey, used to be a figure that was quite popular. He got more unpopular due to COVID, and now he's getting more unpopular amongst a lot of his key base of support due to the fact that, he certified the results for Joe Biden, which just seems like the most ridiculous reason to stop liking him if you did like him before. It does say Ward has relentlessly but unsuccessfully sued to overturn the election results. The party has used its social media accounts to urge followers to fight and perhaps even die in support of Trump's false claims of victory. So that is one of the other things we saw, that the Arizona Republican Party was making very, very strange tweets, and that was very strange. So Kelly Ward has also, been elected to chair the party again, which I think is an absolutely terrible decision if they want the party to win. They have about a 1-seat majority in the state house and the state senate. They've lost 2 senators. Joe Biden won the state, and there's a possibility that the governor's mansion will go to the Democrats in 2022 as well because, it flipped. It could flip in 2022. Doug Ducey won very easily in 2018, but that's when he had a lot of support from a lot of people that he's lost support from now. And, he was going to run for Senate, but now he's not going to run for Senate anymore. And that kind of is the other thing I do want to talk about because Doug Ducey was seen as probably the best recruit that the GOP could get, aside from someone like Chris Sununu. But Doug Ducey, a candidate who won by double digits in Arizona in a blue wave year in a state that Joe Biden won this year, could have run for Senate, and he probably would have beaten Mark Kelly, but it doesn't look like Doug Ducey is going to run. Maybe he pulls a Steve Bullock, and Steve Bullock, who said he wasn't going to run for the longest time and then jumped into the race at the very end. But Doug Ducey does say, somebody asked him, what do you think the party needs to do to win statewide? He said the candidate is going to matter, and I also think for Republicans across the country, we need to be thinking in addition to multiplication mode rather than subtraction and division. And in both races that have had as governor, that's the posture they've always had, getting in out into rooms where maybe Republicans haven't spoken to them before is something I've embraced and enjoy. I think that our results speak for themselves. That is a proper way to earn votes across the state. Doug Ducey's won easily in both of his elections. He also did meet with Senator Mitch McConnell. A lot of people were talking about that. So somebody asked him on the New York Times, are you running for Senate in 2022? And he blatantly said, I'm not running for the United States Senate. I got to know Leader McConnell through the open seat with the passage of John McCain. The purpose of the meeting was to talk about the COVID-19 relief package. Then someone, asked him again, are you ruling out running for the Senate? He said, I'm not running for the United States Senate. It's a no. I'm 100% focused on being the governor of the state of Arizona. I've accepted the role as the chairman of the RGA, so I've got a full-time job, and then I've got a full-time job beyond that, and that's what my focus is. So, he has ruled out running for Senate. This is a big blow to the Republican Party, and this is kind of the sign that they're going to have across the country, I think, and I'll talk about this more in depth another time, but this is the fact that, do they risk running candidates that are more right-wing, closer to Trump, and alienating suburban voters, the same suburban voters that Trump did, or do they run a moderate that maybe couldn't even get out of the primary, but if they do somehow get out of the primary, can't turn out those MAGA base, that Trump-supporting base, and then they have a lot of the struggles. So there is a lot of division within the Republican Party, and that's kind of seen with the figure of Doug Ducey, who is not running for Senate, who would have been one of the best, if not the best, pickup opportunities for the Republican Party. So not only have they censured three prominent figures of the Republican Party that have been crucial to the Republican success in the past, but now that one of those figures has said that he is not running for the Senate. So I wouldn't be surprised if in 2022 the governor's mansion flips to the Democrats, both the state house and the state senate flip to the Democrats, and the Senate race stays with the Democrats. Maybe that's a tall challenge, given that it's probably going to be a Republican year, but given how poorly and incompetently the Arizona Republican Party is being run, I think that's certainly a possibility. And just to think of the opportunity that they're wasting, this is more of an expansive battleground map here. States like Iowa and Ohio are not going to go to the Democrats. States like Colorado are not going to go to the Republicans. But same thing with Florida. Florida's not going to go to the Democrats either. Marco Rubio is not going to lose. But, say Republicans can keep all their incumbents. They win in Wisconsin. They win in North Carolina. They're already up to 449 seats. Maybe they get Kristen Sinema to run. They're up to 50 seats. And at that point, they could get Arizona and win the Senate majority. They could win Nevada and get even further. They could win Georgia. They could win Pennsylvania. At that point, they could get 54 seats, a net gain of 4 seats, getting all their incumbents in states that even Joe Biden won, states like Wisconsin. But and Pennsylvania, they'd win that seat. They'd win in New Hampshire. They'd win in Arizona, Nevada, all states that Joe Biden won. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 states where Joe Biden won, where they get Republican senators. But instead, they squander their opportunity in Arizona. That seat's most likely going to go to the Democrats now. Democrats have a good opportunity in Pennsylvania. Republicans don't have much of a candidate. Nevada, Catherine Cortez Masto is quite a good candidate. Republicans could run someone like Brian Sandoval, but I doubt he's going to be running. Raphael Warnock, the Georgia GOP, is also pretty incompetent there. And Chris Sununu, sure, he could run, but at that point, Republicans have already lost the Senate. So they do have a lot of problems in the future, and it is going to be to their detriment if they are not able to embrace both sides of their party, the more moderate side and the side that is, I guess, further to the right, but mainly just the ones that support Trump more and will turn out because of Trump. Because Trump brought a lot of voters that really did not vote before, those white working class voters in rural areas, particularly in the Rust Belt, and particularly in areas like North Georgia, those kinds of areas all across the country brought out more white working class voters, low propensity rural voters. But can the Republican Party do that with a moderate figure? And can the Republican Party win the suburbs with a more Trumpian figure? So lots of things to unpack here. This is just one sign of the things that are going to be going for the Republican Party. I don't think it's much of a positive thing for them, but we will just have to wait and see. So thank you all for watching this video. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also follow me on Twitter and join the Discord. Those are both linked down in the description. But again, guys, thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you guys later.